Welcome to the Deep Dive. Here we plunge into your sources to pull out the most impactful knowledge and, well, those surprising insights.
Hmm?
Today, we're tackling something that I think resonates with pretty much everyone. This deep desire not just to live longer, but, live better.
Right, adding life to years.
Exactly. Not just years to life. Starting right now, we've gone through your stack of research on this fascinating subject.
Yeah, there was a lot there.
There really was. And our mission today is to kind of distill those really actionable ideas, those facts that maybe shift your thinking a bit and help make you genuinely well-informed. So let's get into it.
Okay. It's interesting, first off, how the sources actually frame longevity. It's much more than just, stretching out the lifespan.
Right. It's not just about the number.
No, exactly. The emphasis is really on prolonging healthy, active, independent living. We're talking about keeping that vitality well into old age.
Beyond 90, ideally.
Ideally, yes. Beyond 90, while you're still actively shaping your life. And this is key. Without constantly needing medication. The core idea is avoiding those classic age-related diseases. And this isn't passive. The sources really hit this point hard.
Yeah, we're in control.
A significant portion, yes. It's within our active control. And importantly, these things aren't framed as some kind of awful struggle.
Right, not like deprivation.
No, they're practices that genuinely enhance your quality of life, like right now in the present.
That's such a crucial distinction, isn't it? It's not some, far-off goal you suffer for now. It actually makes today better.
Exactly.
And the sheer breadth of the research we looked at, it covers everything from the stuff you'd expect, like nutrition, movement.
Sure, the usual suspect.
To some genuinely unexpected areas. I have to admit, some of the findings really challenged my own sort of conventional thinking about aging. So this deep dive, it's going to lay out what modern science is suggesting we can actually do, starting today, to stay mentally sharp, physically robust, for the long haul.
Let's do it.
Okay, so as we started unpacking these sources, one of the first things that really stood out was, well, it might not be the first thing you think of for long-term vitality. Flexibility.
Yeah, right. Not the usual headliner.
No. But the sources featured this compelling 2024 study. Over 3,000 adults aged, 46 to 65?
That's the one. And what they found was pretty striking.
Tell us about it.
Well, over a period of almost 13 years, about 10% of the participants, sadly, passed away.
Okay.
And the study found a very, very clear correlation. The less flexible people were, the higher their mortality risk.
Wow. Really?
Yes. And this connection held true even when they factored in other things like general health, age, or BMI.
So it wasn't just because they were older or had other issues?
Exactly. It seemed to be an independent factor. For men with poor flexibility, the mortality risk was 87% higher.
87%.
Yeah. And for women, it was even more pronounced, a 5-fold increased risk compared to women with good flexibility.
5 times! That's huge. How did they even measure flexibility for this?
They use something called a flex index. It assesses, I think, 20 specific movements across 7 different joints.
Okay, pretty comprehensive.
Yeah. So if you connect this to the bigger picture, it really suggests that, how flexible you are isn't just about whether you can do yoga poses.
It's more fundamental.
It seems to be a significant independent indicator of your life expectancy.
Wow. So my ability or lack thereof to touch my toes might actually be like whispering secrets about my future health.
It's a compelling thought, isn't it?
That really is a profound takeaway. And the good news here, the sources suggest you can actually make progress pretty fast.
Yes, absolutely. Simple practices like yoga, Pilates, or even just, basic stretches like the sun salutation sequence, they can make a difference relatively quickly.
Okay, that's encouraging. Now, shifting gears a bit from sort of whole body movement down to the microscopic level, let's talk mitochondria.
Ah, yes, the cellular powerhouses.
The powerhouses, these tiny things inside our cells responsible for generating most of the energy, right? ATP.
Exactly, ATP. It's basically the fuel your body runs on. And having optimal mitochondrial function is just, essential for cell health, regeneration, overall vitality.
And the problem is, as we age, this function tends to decline.
Often, yes. It declines. And that leads to symptoms we associate with aging, like fatigue, muscle loss, and a higher risk of chronic diseases.
So it follows then that a good longevity strategy has to include ways to, strengthen these mitochondria, activate them, repair them.
All of the above. And even better, to stimulate the creation of new ones That process is called mitochondrial biogenesis.
Mitochondrial biogenesis. Okay.
Right.
Is this something we can actually, influence?
Oh, absolutely. That's the real insight here. Mitochondrial biogenesis is trainable. Your body can be prompted to make more.
How? What did the sources point to?
Several effective ways. Intermittent fasting is a big one, particularly the 16.8 method.
16 hours fasting, 8 hours eating window.
Correct. Regular endurance training is another key way. And then there are specific compounds. Urolithin A, for example.
That comes from pomegranates, right?
It does, derived from compounds in pomegranates and some other fruits and nuts. It's been shown to directly support mitochondrial fitness.
Interesting. Beyond diet and exercise.
Yes. Both cold therapy, which we'll probably talk more about later, and red light therapy can also significantly stimulate that ATP production within the mitochondria.
It's fascinating how many different paths seem to lead to that same cellular benefit. Okay, speaking of things influencing our cells fundamentally, let's turn to epigenetics.
Right. This is where it gets incredibly compelling.
Epigenetics. So the way I understand it, it's like the switches on your genes, they determine if a gene is active or not.
That's a perfect analogy, like light switches for your genes. And what's really crucial is that these switches are directly influenced by your lifestyle.
Our choices matter here.
Hugely. Your diet, your sleep patterns, stress levels, even environmental toxins you're exposed to.
Okay.
Over time, your epigenetic pattern can shift as you age. Sometimes that means beneficial genes get switched off and maybe less beneficial ones get switched on.
Not ideal.
Not ideal at all. And this is why the sources really highlight the concept of an epigenetic diet.
An epigenetic diet. So if our food is basically sending instructions to our genes, what kind of instructions should we be sending? What did the sources recommend eating to, optimize these switches?
The recommendation leans heavily towards a plant-based diet. You want to make sure you get enough B12 and choline, often supplemented in fully plant-based diet.
Why those specifically?
They provide something called methyl groups. These are like tiny chemical tags that can attach to genes and specifically switch off ones that might promote inflammation or increase cancer risk.
So they help stabilize things.
Exactly. Contribute to overall cell stability and longevity. Key foods mentioned are things like broccoli, kale, spinach, beetroot, walnuts, flax seeds.
But good stuff.
Right? Turmeric, soy products, garlic, green tea. On the flip side, alcohol and products with artificial additives are definitely flagged as detrimental to your epigenetics.
Okay, good to know. Now, building on this idea of cellular health and renewal, let's talk autophagy.
Autophagy, yes.
Sounds a bit like cellular spring cleaning. What exactly is it? Why does it matter for longevity?
It is precisely that. It's your cell's natural self-cleansing and rejuvenation process.
Yeah.
Basically, damaged or dysfunctional parts inside the cell get broken down and recycled.
Taken out with the trash, essentially.
Or rather, recycled into new building blocks. It's a crucial protective mechanism. Protects against cancer, inflammation, neurodegenerative diseases.
That's we want to avoid.
Exactly. Animal studies, especially, show a strong link between having robust autophagy and living a longer, healthier life.
Okay, makes sense. So how do we activate this amazing built-in cellular recycling system?
Well, daily intermittent fasting again, for at least 16 hours, like that 16.8 method, is highly effective.
16 hours seems to be a recurring theme.
It really does.
Yeah.
Even more potent, though, are occasional longer fasts. Maybe 24 or even 48 hours, though obviously that needs careful consideration.
Right. And beyond fasting.
Exercise is huge here, too. Both endurance training and high-intensity interval training, HIIT, are excellent for activating autophagy, particularly in muscles, the liver, and the brain.
Okay. Diet again.
Diet again. A polyphenol-rich, plant-based diet, maybe with restricted animal protein, plays a crucial role.
Polyphenols. Those are plant compounds.
Yes. Things like curcumin, the active bit in turmeric, EGCG from green tea extract, resveratrol, which you find in grapes and berries. These are highlighted as potent autophagy activators.
Got it. Any other triggers?
Cold therapy again. Ice baths, for those who are into it, strongly stimulate this process.
Okay, cold therapy is definitely popping up a lot. I know it's clear the physical body needs this renewal, but what about our brains? Our brains age too.
Absolutely.
What measures do the sources recommend to keep our cognitive function sharp? Concentration, memory as we get older.
It's definitely a holistic approach. Daily movement, once again, is key. Improves blood flow and metabolism in the brain.
Makes sense.
But also, critically, never stop learning. Whether it's a new language, a musical instrument, maybe going back to school.
Keep the brain active.
Exactly. It actively fosters mental clarity and flexibility. Even those brain training apps can offer some benefit.
What about specific nutrients for the brain?
Omega-3 fatty acids are vital,
Yeah.
especially DHA and EPA, which you can get from fish oil or algae oil for a plant-based source.
Why are they so important?
They are literally building blocks for your nerve cells. They help form synapses, reduce that sort of silent inflammation in the brain, and contribute to strong concentration, mood, and memory.
Okay. Anything else?
Red light therapy. Interestingly,
Go ahead.
particularly near infrared light, it's shown promise in improving brain blood flow and overall function.
Fascinating. And just like the body needs rest and recovery, the brain needs downtime too, right?
Oh, absolutely critical. Meditation and good quality sleep. They significantly reduce inflammatory processes in the brain.
And they promote neuroplasticity.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Neuroplasticity, that's the brain's amazing ability to adapt, learn, and form new connections basically throughout your entire life. Downtime fuels that.
Okay. Let's discuss another concept that sounds a bit sci-fi. Senolysis.
Senolysis, yes.
This is about dissolving and removing old, non-functional cells. Senescent cells, they're called.
That's right. You could think of them as zombie cells.
Zombie cells, why?
Because they're essentially stop dividing, they're sort of undead. They hang around but send out harmful inflammatory signals, triggering chronic inflammation nearby.
And they build up as we age.
They accumulate with age, yes.
Yeah.
And they're considered a major driver of the aging process itself.
Okay, so getting rid of them seems like a good idea. How?
Well, fasting and other things that promote autophagy definitely help clear some out. But certain plant compounds are specifically highlighted for having senolytic properties, meaning they target and help remove these cells.
Like what?
Quercetin, which you find in onions, apples, capers, and especially physitin.
Physitin. Then where do we get that?
It's abundant in strawberries, also found in apples and onions again. Studies on physitin are showing promise.
So should we be taking physitin supplements daily?
That's an important point.
Yeah.
In the research, they often used higher doses, and crucially, it was given cyclically,
Meaning?
meaning not every day, typically for maybe 1 to 3 days per month. The idea is more like a periodic cellular deep cleaning, similar to how you might do a longer fast periodically.
Right, like a pulsed approach, not constant.
Exactly.
Okay. Now, zooming out a bit, on a broader level, preventing and stopping inflammation and oxidative stress, this just comes up again and again as crucial for longevity.
Absolutely fundamental.
What did the sources really emphasize as the cornerstone for tackling this?
Unsurprisingly, perhaps, it comes back to a plant-based whole food diet, rich in diverse vegetables, fiber, healthy fats, antioxidants.
So load up on colorful veg, berries, nuts, seeds, use good quality oil.
Precisely. High-quality cold-pressed oils. And conversely, avoiding sugar, white flour, processed meats, and processed fish products is just as important.
The usual dietary villains.
Pretty much. Drinking mostly water, preparing fresh meals yourself whenever possible. These are strongly recommended habits.
Any other tools against inflammation?
Yes. Red light and cold therapy both seem to help reduce inflammation by inhibiting certain inflammatory messengers.
There they are again.
They keep showing up. And then, of course, there's a whole array of anti-inflammatory supplements. Omega-3s again, curcumin, sulforaphane from broccoli sprouts, OPC from grape seeds, resveratrol, vitamin C.
That's a lot. Do we need all of them?
The suggestion from the sources is often to pick a few and maybe rotate them to cover a broad spectrum of anti-inflammatory pathways.
Okay. And beyond diet and specific therapies, what about the more, let's say, commonly known health measures that consistently appear in longevity research?
Well, the foundations are still key. Intermittent fasting, regular cardio like walking or cycling, good sleep, daily relaxation breaks.
Because stress is inflammatory.
Exactly. Sleep deprivation and chronic stress are major fuelers of inflammation. And here's a surprising detail that came up. Your gum health.
Gum health. Seriously.
Yes. Periodontitis or gum disease. It's an often overlooked source of chronic inflammation that measurably increases the risk for many age-related diseases.
Wow, okay. That's definitely an unexpected connection. Need to keep flossing.
Definitely seems worthwhile.
And speaking of hidden influences, the gut microbiome, that also plays a central role, right?
Yeah.
How did the sources highlight its importance?
Oh, massively important. The gut microbiome, that whole community of microorganisms in your gut, it influences way more than just digestion.
Like what?
It's central to your immune system, regulates inflammation throughout the body, affects hormone balance, and even communicates directly with your brain. via the gut-brain axis.
So a healthy gut is key for overall health.
Absolutely. A healthy, diverse gut flora protects against chronic diseases like diabetes, cardiovascular issues, neurodegenerative diseases, all things directly linked to aging and longevity.
And diversity is key.
Yes. Studies show older people with a diverse, stable microbiome tend to age more healthily. They suffer less from inflammation and are generally more resilient. Microbial diversity is consistently presented as a key marker for longevity.
So on top of the healthy diet, movement, stress management, sleep, specific probiotics might help.
They can, yes. Specific probiotic preparations can help regulate the gut microbiome.
Okay. And this leads us to another, perhaps underestimated factor, balancing the nervous system.
Yes, the regulation of your autonomic nervous system, or ANS, this is really critical in longevity research.
What does the ANS control again?
Basically all the vital involuntary functions. Heart rate, blood pressure, digestion, metabolism, detoxification, breathing, immune function, hormonal function, sleep rhythm.
Pretty much everything essential.
Everything essential. And if your ANS is perpetually disrupted, say, from chronic stress or just persistent lack of sleep, it can throw all these systems out of whack.
Accelerating aging.
Yes. Accelerating aging processes, promoting inflammation, potentially shortening telomeres, inhibiting cell repair and autophagy, worsening mitochondrial function. The list goes on.
So a balanced nervous system is like the foundation for everything else to work properly.
That's a great way to put it. It provides the foundation for all those other longevity measures to really be effective.
Okay, so given it's so foundational, what simple, actionable steps can you take to bring your nervous system into better balance?
Just practicing 5-10 minutes of breathing exercises daily is strongly suggested. Something like the 4-7-8 method.
Simple but effective.
Very. Cultivating meditation and mindfulness practices. Starting yoga or qigong are also excellent paths.
And I bet I know what else helps.
Let me guess. Red light therapy.
Bingo.
Yes. Red and near-infrared light therapy are noted as incredibly beneficial for the nervous system. The light penetrates deep into tissues, stimulates mitochondria in the nerve cells, boosts ATP production there.
Which helps stressed nerves.
Exactly. Especially important for stressed or injured nerves. It shows protective effects against neurodegenerative processes too. And it also directly contributes to stress reduction, calmness, mood improvement, better sleep, better digestion, concentration.
Wow, quite the list of benefits. Okay, let's turn our attention to telomeres.
Telomeres, the chromosome caps.
Right, the protective caps at the ends of our chromosomes. Like the plastic tips on shoelaces is the common analogy.
That's the one. And they get shorter with each cell division. This shortening is seen as a key marker of cellular aging.
And if they get too short?
If they get too short, the cell can no longer divide safely. It often becomes senescent, one of the zombie cells we talked about earlier.
It all connects. So can we do anything about telomere shortening? Can we maintain them or even lengthen them?
The sources suggest, yes, it is possible to influence telomere length. Beyond the usual suspects, healthy diet, regular endurance exercise several times a week, good stress management through meditation and mindfulness.
Which we've covered.
Right. Certain vital substances are also highlighted. Omega-3 fatty acids pop up again.
Of course.
Taurine, an amino acid, and the combination of coenzyme Q10 with selenium.
Okay, interesting additions there. Finally, let's touch on regular detoxification. It seems longevity also involves helping your body get rid of harmful stuff.
That's the idea. Regularly relieving your body of accumulated harmful substances.
How does a targeted, gentle detox contribute to the bigger picture here?
Well, over a lifetime, various things can accumulate. Pesticides from food, environmental toxins, microplastics, heavy metals like mercury, and lead from various sources.
Things we'd rather not have inside us.
Exactly. All are suspected of accelerating aging processes. And the body's natural detox pathways, primarily through the liver, kidneys, intestines, lymph system, and skin, often become less efficient as we age.
So they need some support.
Supporting these organs specifically gains increasing importance in longevity medicine. Things like regular, gentle cleansing courses for the liver, kidneys, intestines, and lymph system are highlighted as potentially very beneficial for maintaining long-term fitness and health.
Okay. Now, as we've gone through all these different facets of longevity, one specific therapy kept appearing across many areas, almost hinting at a foundational benefit.
I think I know where you're going with this.
Cold therapy.
Cold therapy, yes.
Your sources explain it works through something called a hormetic stimulus. What exactly does that mean?
Right, hormesis. A hormetic stimulus is basically a short, targeted stressor that triggers powerful, positive adaptation processes in the body long term. It's like what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, but on a cellular level.
Okay, so the sudden cold jolts the system.
Exactly. It activates your entire system, circulation, nervous system. Cells respond with heightened alertness and then improved regeneration.
And what's happening at the cellular level?
At the cellular level, cold boosts mitochondrial activity, activates brown fat tissue, which is metabolically very active and good for metabolism. It promotes autophagy, that cell cleaning process, and it can powerfully inhibit chronic inflammation.
Plus the nervous system effects.
Yes, it exquisitely regulates the autonomic nervous system, particularly by stimulating the vagus nerve. This leads to relaxation, better sleep, and greater stress resilience over time. The Wim Hof method is probably the most famous approach combining cold exposure with specific breathing techniques.
Right. So for someone listening thinking, okay, maybe I'll try this, but, ice baths sound intense. Where do the sources suggest they start?
Definitely proceed slowly and deliberately. Especially if you have any pre-existing health conditions, check with a doctor first. But for beginners, simply ending your daily shower with 30 to 60 seconds of cold water is a fantastic start.
Manageable.
Very manageable. For more advanced folks, ice baths around 10 degrees Celsius or even colder, maybe 2-3 times a week is an option. But the key takeaway is that the positive effects seem to come from continuous, short stimuli.
So you don't need to freeze for hours.
No. Even just a few minutes a day can significantly promote cell health, immunity, and contribute to that overall longevity picture.
Okay. So wrapping this all up, what does all this truly mean for you, the listener?
Well, I think it's really clear from these sources that longevity isn't some, magic trick reserved for biohackers or the super wealthy.
Not at all.
Many of the measures we've discussed are surprisingly well within reach for most people.
Yeah.
And maybe the biggest point is this isn't just about adding years way off in the distant future.
Right, it's about today.
These practices actively improve your daily life quality today. So we'd really encourage you maybe pick just 1 or 2 new practices from this deep dive, something that really resonated.
Maybe the flexibility aspect.
Or maybe the cold shower ending, see how it feels to integrate it, and, maybe find others to share the journey with. That can make it more enjoyable, more supportive.
Definitely. And if we connect this back to the bigger picture, what's truly compelling here, I think, is how all these seemingly disparate areas, from the microscopic world of mitochondria and epigenetics, tiny little switches and powerhouses,
all the way to the simple physical act of just keeping your body flexible. They all seem to converge on the same fundamental truth.
Which is?
That our daily choices, however small they seem, are actively shaping our future vitality. Not just in the number of years we live, but in the richness and independence of those years. And that really raises an important question, doesn't it? If the blueprint for a healthy, vibrant, long life is literally being written right now in every decision we make, what kind of story do you want your body and mind to tell?
That is a powerful thought to leave you with. We really hope this deep dive into your sources has given you some surprising facts, maybe some actionable insights you can use to enhance your life, starting right now.
Hope so.
Join us next time as we dive into new sources and unlock more knowledge.